Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. This is the dystopian edition. Before we dive on in, I have a science fiction book that will be out. We are shooting for a May 12th, 2020 launch. So if you're watching this before then, head on over to synaptergy.com or tlm.li/s. You can get on that, push that orange button there. That is the mailing list to get the updates when that comes out. I will be updating this website here soon. I do have the retail sample promo audiobook uploaded onto SoundCloud right now. We'll get that linked to various places shortly. And stay tuned for that. And if you're watching this after that date, have a look at all your places where you might buy books to see if you can find Synaptergy somewhere for ordering online. All right, so let's head on into the dystopian news. So, pandemics, do we need an app for that? Some people think we do. So this kind of dives into the concept of contact tracing. So contact tracing is when you are putting a variety of applications and various sensors together. Mostly you're attaching some Bluetooth stuff, all sorts of things like that all together. And as you're attaching all that all together, then it can basically figure out who is who. Now the problem is it can't be just anonymized data, because at some point in time, if your app says, ooh, biometric stuff shows up or something, you may be infected at some point in time, it has to know who and when and where and why you are in close proximity to somebody else to warn them to the process as well. So they're kind of looking now, some apps are already starting to work on the ability to do this kind of stuff, so don't be surprised if you're like Facebook and other things like that, start adding this in silently inside of updates just to keep an eye on what's going on. But for other things, we might start seeing some dedicated things. I even did notice Weather Channel, not the app, which is too insane. I would never use that. But I do go to the weatherchannel.com website on my Firefox Claw. And if you haven't been over there lately, at least on the mobile version on the very bottom, they have actually, I think it was the news section they took out, and now we have a chiroptophobia button there as well. So you can click it and you can see all of the fear mongering for your local region put right in front of your face. So you can go, the world's gonna end! But never mind. My apologies for you guys wearing headsets. All right. The Chromium blog is temporarily rolling back same-site cookie changes. I'm looking at this going, on one hand, they're saying that this is because of the chiroptophobia, and this is potentially going to break some banking, online grocery stores, and things like this, because some of those do rely on third-party cookies. On the other hand, I'm remembering that the government is using the ad trackers, which are all third-party cookies, to do their own backdoor location data tracking and all sorts of other things. So it makes me scratch my head and go, is this more about something else, or is this more about making sure that these systems still work? I haven't decided yet. Let me know what you guys think of this. So yeah, they're rolling back that third-party cookie concept. Of course, I will definitely take 3 parties worth of cookies myself, but it's going to take some running to burn them off. But anyway, in our world where we have to engage in the newspeak of social distancing, then what do you do if you want to have a party? Well, you do it on The Sims. So I threw my boyfriend his birthday party on The Sims because we couldn't have one in real life. This is a sad world we're in, where this is just normal. Like, ooh, let's go have fun with Sims. I mean, I guess you'd be like, the advantages here is you could be like, where do you want your birthday out? Let's just do it in front of the pyramids in Egypt. Sure, let's do it, Build it up. I mean, if Sims doesn't have it, let's just do it in Minecraft. Why not? We'll get together. I'll give you a diamond pickaxe for your birthday or something. I don't know. But anyway, we're getting to this weird point. I mean, college and high school and stuff, graduations are being built in on Minecrafts and all these types of things. Birthday parties on The Sims, and I'm even hearing reports of people doing with their little kids doing play dates on video conferencing apps. What a weird world we are living in today because of chiroptophobia. All right, well, the British government starts pushing social distancing newspeak via in-game ads. So, of course, what is it? You know what I noticed on this list? Candy Crush Saga. It's all a conspiracy, people. This is a Microsoft conspiracy. We're going to come back to that in the very end. Yeah, I mean, Candy Crush, that application I keep on uninstalling from my Windows 10 computer, and it keeps on coming back. Comes back like a zombie does. It's just like coming back, coming back, coming back, coming back, coming back, and now it's going to be pushing you ads. Just sitting there playing your games. Oh, look at this. Look at this. This is from Dirt Rally. Oh, stay home, save lives, stay home, save lives. This is like, people, this has gone beyond the point of public service. This is flat out indoctrination. This is propaganda. Propaganda. That's where this is getting to, people. Go study World War II propaganda on all fronts. By the way, it's not just something those mid-19th or mid-20th century German soldiers did. It was something that was used in America. Roosevelt even had a propaganda division in the government to inform movie industry exactly how to do this. I wrote about it in my book, I Am Not Amused, where we talk about the American role of propaganda inside of things. And this is getting to this point. And I understand completely that, hey, sure, let's take a few extra precautions right now. But we're starting to push this kind of stuff in video games like this. This is propaganda. This is propaganda. This is insane. It's getting crazy. So Candy Crush is doing it. Where's Candy Crush doing it at? Like, I mean, I've never played Candy Crush. Is it just like a Tetris screen? Are there news flashes somewhere? Is it ads in between? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. Now, there is definitely some weird conspiracy theories popping up around Microsoft and these identity things and all this kind of stuff. And some people are looking at this going, a lot of certain party members really want to push an 18-month quarantine period. This is very interesting because one of the people that wants to do that is Bill Gates. And now Microsoft comes out and they want to put everything digital only until July of 2021, an 18-month window. I need my hat for this, people, my tinfoily one. So what we have here is they're now pushing this out. Now, if we saw what was going on, particularly looking at GameStop, all these companies, at the kind of the beginning of this, when all this was still more recommendations than anything else, GameStop's saying, no, we're not going to close down right away. And the full-fledged wrath of Karen came right on down on GameStop. You hate the world! You hate your employees! It's like, Karen, if you don't like GameStop, don't go there. Okay? If you're concerned that GameStop's not closed down, don't go there. But what happened is a few companies did what they wanted, some of them didn't, and then the Karens of the world went in full force against the ones that didn't and used social pressure to close them down. Well, now Microsoft is now leading the aid for an 18-month period of online digital only. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. I don't know what to think about this, but it's getting a little bit creepy. Do you have the same creepy vibes? Or, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. A Californian Christian Post, a California church was locked out of their building by their landlord to stop them from holding services. Now, another thing that actually happened in California, and I'm not sure if this is the same church or something else, but a pastor was sitting on the city council and disagreed with some of the things where they're like, the grocery store's open. A friend of mine used to work for Lowe's until like last week, but he just got sick of people kind of coming in like it was, nothing else to do, on a Saturday afternoon or whatever else and kind of crowding the store. And he didn't really like that idea. So he actually quit his job over that. But the thing is that we're seeing in several grocery stores, we are seeing a lot of extra safety precautions coming into place, which is good. Well, this pastor completely disagreed with the idea of we can't have church services. He says, no, maybe we just need to put in the same precautions that grocery stores are doing. So what he did is he did an online service, But then from, I think, like 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, he held a communion, which is a sacrament in the Christian church, like it or not. But when they did it, they did a full-fledged, followed every CDC guideline. They made sure, in fact, they even asked some police officers to come and keep order and make sure everybody was following CDC guidelines. Everybody, non-family members, had to be 6 feet apart from each other. They were only allowing 10 people into the church at a time. They set up the chairs in such a way that you had to be 6 to 10 feet apart from each other. Every time somebody would get up, they would disinfect the chair. You had very structured in and out flow, and they did everything because he says this is a sacrament that's important to the church. And so he did it in such a way to follow all the CDC guidelines. Everybody administering all had N95 masks, gloves. People were there on hand for sanitization. Nobody was, everyone was told do not shake hands or whatever else, keep your distance, follow every guideline, and they came through and had their communion. Well, he resigned from city council over that disagreement and then held that service. Well, in this case, the landlord's like, no, we're just not even going to give you access. And so they locked the church out of their own building. And to me, this almost like, you might actually be running afoul of some law at this point. Because if I'm renting a building and the landlord comes and locks me out, I'd be like, all right, well, you're just not allowed to charge me rent for that period of time. And if they try and collect rent after they've locked me out, we're going to let a judge decide that one out. So definitely an interesting situation. But this is why, is our faith not important anymore? And some of you guys who are atheists are like, well, it's just a bunch of fairy tales anyway. Well, to a person that truly is a Christian like myself, faith is very important. Can we not engage in faith with the same caution that we engage our grocery store? That's a very good, fascinating question, and this church doesn't even have the option because whatever else. On to our feature story. Arresting people for coughing won't keep communities safer. What? Now, I gotta say that the title here from The Verge is a little bit misleading in a way, because it's not just a guy that's just going to store go, excuse me, it wasn't a case like that. Okay, the guy went into a Walmart. The Walmart employee pissed him off, and he went up and coughed on her intentionally. Even in a time that's not like this, that actually has always been an arrestable offense. It's like if you go up and spit on somebody, it's an assault. In fact, it's a higher level assault because it contains body fluids. Intentionally hurling body fluids at somebody out of anger or whatever else is a criminal offense. It's probably still misdemeanor is my guess, but it's still a criminal offense. And it always has been. It has nothing to do with chiroptophobia. So over the weekend, a man in North Dakota was arrested for coughing at a local Walmart. The store, like all Walmart stores, was limiting the number of people allowed in at once. The man apparently wasn't happy to hear that and intentionally coughed on store employees, the police chief said. Joins a growing list of people arrested in the U.S. for intentionally coughing in public in the past few weeks, as accelerated outbreaks of chiroptophobia in states around the country put people on edge, alert for the slightest sign that they could be exposed to chiroptophobia. So, chiroptophobia, blah, 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 whatever else, tiny droplets of saliva, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I mean, if you go into a basic store and you cough, not a huge deal under most circumstances, but if you intentionally walk into somebody in your mouth and you go, I'm going to cough all over you, there's always been a problem with that. But still we're in a world where it's becoming front page news to be arrested for coughing. That's the world we're getting into. So what do you guys think about all these fun dystopia stories? Let me know in the comments down below.